In this video on Evony the King's Return, we're going to be looking at items, some of the best ones to use and buy, and so on. We're going to be starting with the store here. If you want to skip to the item section, feel free. It's going to be a little bit of a long video, so if you don't think you're going to learn anything from it, there's a good chance you won't, to be fair. So don't waste your time with it. I'm going to start with the resources tile here on the store, and then we're going to skip right off of it because it's pointless. If you want to get resources, attack other players, produce it, gather it, or you can go into the black market or perhaps even just the regular market and tax resources to get the market level up, and you might get better rewards from taxing and the black market. So keep that in mind. Instead of buying them through here, which is a waste of money, you have the source of life that's going to be used primarily, or maybe you can only even be used in server versus server events where all dead troops are able to be revived via source of life, which can be purchased just in packs as well. But of course you can buy one here for 1,000. You got soul crystals to revive troop souls from the Holy Palace. If you have a Holy Palace of level 25 or above, you're going to have the ability of some of your permanently dead troops to be revived. Here, as you see, it's 3,500 for one, and I wouldn't really recommend buying them here because you probably get quite a few from opening chests and things like that, and by the time you need to use those. Horns of Recalling, very expensive for what you get. I wouldn't really be using them, but you can produce these for free over time in your Holy Palace depending on your research for that, and also just leveling it up. Which I would prefer to do that rather than buying them, to be fair. But if you need them really quickly and you can't wait the time to produce them, then you could buy them depending on your situation, but be careful with that given the cost. Truce Agreement Informant, when you scout someone you can use this option if they have a bubble instead, and 500 gems, you can find out the remaining time on their truce agreement. As it says here, it will count as an attack and it will drop your truce agreement, and you will have a timer before you successfully scout them, so you will be open to attack. If you do that, it will be fairly obvious you're doing it to someone, so be careful. But that can also obviously be used on people you think are offline or something like that, where they're not going to renew their truce agreement and you're trying to figure out the best time to attack them. You have stamina that can be pretty good to get, especially if your alliance is doing very high bosses at the moment, and if you ran out of stamina you could buy stamina in here for sure. But try to be careful using it and then wasting it on monsters or anything like that, because gems are gems, especially as a free player. City teleporters and advanced city teleporters, this one's random. Advanced, you can pick anywhere. Obviously two different costs here. I recommend buying these for two different reasons. City teleport, if you want to have the ability to teleport quickly out of somewhere to avoid being killed, or if you're killing someone you want to teleport out afterwards rather than bubble. And using a truce agreement you could use one of these to get away. Advanced teleporters are going to be good, like if you run out of them, especially if you're a free player. I would only really use them for good kills in kill event, to get those points up, as well as to perhaps get some resources. If you find someone that has tons of resources and you want to hit them 10 times, which will force port them, and then find them again using an arrest warrant, you could be using these if you need to buy more. As I just said, arrest warrant is going to be best used on those that again have lots of troops and you think they're unbubbled, or they might be unbubbled. You can arrest warrant them and pay the 2,000. It's going to be worth it, even the 4,000 between two of these, to find someone that has tons of resources and is unbubbled. For instance, if you force port them, if you're getting 100 million resources just by doing that, it's going to be worthwhile, or even less even. 8-hour truce agreements, personally I use these and buy extras when necessary to make sure I can bubble up during kill events when I'm online. I'll use these to bubble in between kills and make sure that I'm not going to die while I'm out attacking people. It's the cheapest way to do it, especially when you know you're going to drop your bubble and attack someone else, and then put another one up, and then drop it again and again and again. Even if you only do it a couple times, it's definitely worth using these and buying a few of those. You can buy an unlimited amount of those. You can only buy one of the 24-hour and one 3-day truce agreements a day, but you can, I think, buy unlimited in terms of ones that are instantly used through your city buffs on your keep. You can buy infinite in one day, I believe. So do keep that in mind, that you can only buy a few a day. If you wanted to stock up and buy some every day. These are going to be the best 24-hour and 3-day, preferably 3-day when possible, to stay bubbled for some time. Obviously going to be very worth the money, and this is what free players should be spending their most amount of gems on, perhaps all of them even, depending. Small war chest and the defense chest are not going to be worth it. If you're doing undead event or quite a lot of kills in kill event, you could buy these 10% ones if you're a free player and you wanted a bit of a boost, but I would more so recommend trying to save up those 20% ones. Junior march size increase and things like that are going to be good for world boss scores and stuff like that when you need to get that march size up, or if you're defending throne or something like that, if you're going to be buying them. Although most people that would really get a use out of these are just going to have tons of them anyway, because they're a larger account and are spending a lot of money. So I wouldn't really buy these if you're a smaller player. If you don't even have the troops to be able to fill up your march size as is, buying one of these is not going to help you, so do keep that in mind. Revival stones are a fairly good price for what they do. They can save you even up to a day or 2 days, whatever it is, to revive your general. If you attack a city or someone attacks you and kills all your sub generals and your main city defense general, it could be good to use a few of these if you don't have any already, to buy a few and to get some of those best generals, or perhaps if you really wanted to get all of them back instantly. March speed ups, they're going to be pretty good if you need them during PvP, for instance. Those large players again are probably going to have tons of these, just, you know, through buying things, but you can buy these for sure. But don't waste your money on them if you are a free player. You know, maybe buy a couple when you really need them for some reason. Recalls are going to be good. There's been a few instances where either through a glitch or just something messing up, perhaps even me at times, where I've sent attack against a player or whatever it is, I'm unbubbled, my best general is in the army, and for whatever reason only 300 troops is being sent towards someone, and I need to quickly click on that march and return it before all my sub general dies and my main attack general dies and some of my troops die. It's not fun if that happens. So these are very good for 50 gems, and to cut down on the time that it takes to click on recall when you really need to do it last second, you could buy up a few to keep on hand. March recalls for Alliance, probably not used too much, but you know, they could be good for PvP too when you want to trick someone and you want to recall. Speed ups, they're not really worth the money, would ignore them. 24-hour resource gathering speed ups are going to be good to buy during the gathering event or throughout the week if you do have a few thousand extra gems, but you don't have these already. If you don't have some just sitting in your regular items, you could buy more. They can be good. They could be even worth up to 50 million for those smaller players, depending on your research. Hammers, you could buy those. I wouldn't particularly recommend it unless it's near the end of the event, when this event is on the egg smashing event, or near the end of reset and you need to get a couple more to finish off your eggs or whatever it is. You could buy them in here, but I wouldn't recommend it. But preferably hit bosses and things like that, join rallies. VIP time, if for whatever reason you don't have very much VIP time sitting in your items, or if you click the VIP icon in the top left and you look at your time left on the VIP, you can buy a 30-day here. It's not a too bad price. I do recommend buying it there. I think you can maybe get it cheaper in the black market, so keep that in mind. Don't buy refining stones or material chests or speakers. City name changes are going to be, you know, obvious what that does, and if you need to buy one, buy one. Don't buy medals, crowns and things like that. They can be a little expensive. You do need to obviously buy more than one. Having a level 1 is pointless. You need to buy 3 of these to get a level 2. You You need to buy 9 if you want a level 3, and so on. So keep that in mind. There, 27 for a level 4, and they've all got different costs and different benefits. But you know, I would recommend, if you need to and you can't do it through the patrol and the walls, for whatever reason you're getting a bit unlucky doing it on patrol, you could buy, for instance, the training, speed up, construction and research to get to level 3 or 4. But I wouldn't bypass that because they are very expensive. You want to just probably get the level 3s by luck and eventually compose them into better ones. So now we're just going to go over to the items page, and I'll see you when I'm there. So as we see, we've got plenty of items here. We've got the feathers that you're going to get from attacking monsters and maybe even boss monsters, and you can summon another type of boss here that's going to be time limited. Sometimes this event is on, sometimes it's not. If the use button is green, that means you're able to use them. If your alliance cumulatively kills 5 in a row, then a senior version will spawn. You kill these, you'll get some alliance rewards and things like that. Make sure you check out in the event center to claim your rewards. This is going to be good to do, but do bear in mind that you're going to be able to kill level 5 to a level 7 boss, somewhere in like that, for a junior or senior. If you can kill those bosses, then you could probably kill this boss, so it does have over 1 million power. Do keep that in mind. Then you have your fangs. Be careful using this near your alliance. Some alliances will have rules to not use these, such as mine, or to not use them near the hive. At least make sure you teleport out or something like that to use these. These will drop boxes for speed ups and resources, and you can claim 50 of the boxes a day. One of these will drop more than 1 box. You don't have to kill 50 a day. Do keep that in mind. You got thief chests, which can give you some speeds and things. Decorations there that you can use. Definitely be opening all of your boss monster chests. For instance, in here you can get an 8-hour speed and things like that. That's going to get you tons of speeds from the bosses. I really recommend joining rallies of other people or doing your own on those higher level bosses, because on a level 5 down here, as you can see, you're only getting, you know, a few hours, a couple of hours, but then on the 10s you're getting much more. And then just by your alliance killing bosses, you get all of these boss boxes, and you can over the time get thousands or tens of thousands of these boxes. And as you can see, even a junior one is going to give you some materials and a few other things. And then you got here a senior, it's going to give you a level 3 material, resources and so on. So these are great, passively earning these. As your alliance kills bosses, you'll get one, as you'll see in your alliance mail, quite a lot. You got the relic packs for your alliance completing a relic. There's not too much to those, but again, you know, a lot of these things you can be opening. I know there's a few people in my alliance that have been asking what they should and shouldn't open. That's why I'm making this video. Here you got skill book chests. Obviously open these up and see what you're able to get. Don't open up your horns of recalling unless you need to use them to recall deserters, but for the most part you can wait until the deserters recall by themselves, or at least the horn rate goes up by itself. So I wouldn't really use these until you understand them. You got gear here that you can open, monarch gear, and you'll get a random one depending on what it is, or there are also gear chests that can be random between anything, but these ones are specific to like a staff and so on. So open all these up, and these resource ones will give you, depending on their level, will give you different resource items. As you can see here, you got gear for your generals, like the materials for them. All of these boxes here, these purple gems and these orange ones and these blue ones here are all going to be material chests. You can open all of those, and that's going to give you plenty of things to build gear with in the forge building. You've got these that are going to give you artwork for the art hall building in the left middle-ish of your city, and you can compose those together to get some items. And eventually when you fill up all 3 stars, I think you get like different types of buffs depending on the portrait tab on the art hall. VIP time, I've not opened some of this just because I don't have to. I have like 3 months left of VIP, but you can open these, especially if you're a free player. Make sure you open these and keep your VIP up. Again, top left, you can click the VIP button and see how much time you've got left, and you can swipe along and see what benefits you're going to have of a higher VIP. I think it's about VIP 4 or 5. You're going to get your 4th march, which is going to be the most important reason for keeping VIP active at all times. Now we have resource items. As you see, just different resources here. Do not open these unless you need individual resources. Only open as much as you need. Be careful using it and wasting it on things that you don't need to open it for. If you're able to gather the resources and so on, do that instead. Do not open food for sure, because your troops will eat it. Again, you can open these, but be careful. Speed ups, you got construction speed ups, research speed ups, training speed ups, which are obviously only able to be used for those things. And then at the top here you have the regular common speed ups that can be used on anything. I personally save those as much as possible for buildings and research, because getting those numbers up are more permanent. If you use it on troops, then it could be a bit of a waste, especially if your troops are outdoing your hospital capacity. Equipment, it's just going to be all of your materials from all those chests that we're talking about, and refinement stones that are going to be used to refine equipment for your general. And you can compose all of these together. Compose 3 of these to create 1 of these, compose 3 of these to compose 1 of these, and so on. Do keep an eye on what level of item you need to make different gear by checking in the forge and clicking on them and seeing what it's telling you you need. Obviously we have level 4 here all the way up to level 6. We have a bunch of scrolls here from warrior scrolls. Scrolls are an item you need to create different gear, so do keep that in mind. You have to collect these from doing level 8, level 9 bosses, or higher bosses will give even better ones than these, such as these, or the King's Ring scroll and so on. These gear here are pretty worthless, the blue ones, and you can disassemble them and get a few resources like I will here. You only get a few, but it's worth disassembling these. These are just ones that are unequipped. If they're here, they're unequipped. They're not on the general right now. Special. These hammers are going to be used in the egg cracking event. And do keep in mind to use all of these and don't let them stack up like I have. Soul crystals are going to be used to revive troop souls in the level 20, 25 and above. Holy Palace, when your troops die, when it says killed in the report, then you have to use these to get them back, although only a portion of them will be able to be returned to your city. You have runestones here that are going to be used for the general specialty, general level 25, which means you have to be a level 25 monarch as well to use these, and that will give you bonus buffs and whatnot. You have your teleporters here, truce agreements, arrest warrant. Now maps, you can compose them together. 3 level 1s makes a 2, 9 level 1s makes a 3, and so on. I've got 10 magics, or more or less level 6. So if you get a level 5 here, compose 3 level 5s to make a magic treasure map. Those are going to be more or less the best ones. But keep in mind, a lot of people prefer to gather instead of go on relics. I see a lot of people trying to do relics early in the game, but keep in mind you're much better gathering resources rather than doing these, unless you wanted to hide your troops in them for a very long time. That is a possibility depending on your march size. Waybills are going to be used to mail items to other players, but do bear in mind only certain items can be sent, not all of them. Some speed ups, some resources, and a few other things are going to be able to be sent, but not much else. city name change, avatar change. Free taxes, personally I like to save up for quite some time before taxing one resource all at the same time to get plenty of resources. If you just use a few here or there, it's not going to be worth as much, so try to save them, perhaps get 50 to 100 of those. Research stones are just simply used in higher researches. These badges can be used to upgrade the wonder or general equipment, and I think they can also be used in the battlefield store, in the battlefield building near your wall, near your farms and things like that. You can get these through battlefield and SVS and so on. Same thing, this is from the battlefield and you can use that in the store. Monarch XP, 100% open all of these at all times to get your Monarch level up as much as possible. Save onto your general XP as much as you can and only use it on the generals you need to. Pay attention to my other videos. I'll put a link down in the description for general recruitment to make sure you're not wasting these on lower generals that are not going to matter in the long run. Here we have Spiritual Beast XP, which is going to be used in your pasture. For Spiritual Beasts, you got different ones. I personally am using the Bird of Hurricane at the moment as it has buffs for mounted, so I can use it on my boss running general. But you can use different ones that are going to have different buffs, as you can check out in the pasture, but it will depend on your level of that building which ones you're able to put the XP in. But make sure you don't put the XP into multiple of them at the same time. Level one up and then level another one up if you wanted to, or upgrade that one. Do bear in mind, XP, you have to fill out the entire XP bar until that one is unlocked. If you just put XP on it, it's not going to unlock it. You have to level it up from level 0 to level 1 before you can use it. Here we have the 10% and 20% buffs for attack, defense, and HP. These are pretty obvious what those do. March size increases, especially save onto these because they're going to be useful for world boss scores and large events where you might need an increased march size. As you see, I'm a bit of a spender on this account. I've used a few of these for sure, but even still I don't have very many, so they are very precious for sure. Now obviously these buffs here can be used in Undead or in KE and things. Source of Life, we've gone through that before, and recalls and revive stones. You got medals here that are going to be used for upgrading the star level of generals. Make sure you don't waste these on generals, again based on my general recruitment video, that you don't need, because especially early in a server they're going to take time to get unless you're really trying to go after them. And then you got all your skill books here that you can click on them and see what each of them do, and you can refer to one of my skill book videos that I'll link down below to look at which ones are the best. And obviously keep the sub ones with your sub generals, keep the attack ones with your attack generals or even defense generals, and then I think the middle column is going to be for resources, troop load, gathering speed, and so on. I think that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, leave it down below.